Hello. I'd like to spend a few minutes talking about the new Test Out Digital Literacy Pro course that was released by Test Out this year. It's a very exciting course. It's meant for a student who's just entering into the IT world and wanting to explore and see what's out there. So let's get started on what's in this new course. Let's start by looking at the outline. So this outline shows that this course has 15 chapters, and the way we designed this course was to be an exploratory course for the student. Again, regardless of their age, it doesn't matter if they're younger students or students that are maybe transitioning to a new career. We're trying to develop a course that really helps the student dip their toe in the water and experience lots of different areas of IT. So if you look at the chapters, we get 15 chapters. We have, of course, we've included keyboarding, which we think is a very important chapter. Being able to type in the IT field is something that's important. We cover computer hardware, operating systems. We introduce them to different applications. We talk about different Office tools like Microsoft Word, Microsoft Spreadsheets, which Excel, and PowerPoint presentations. Again, we're not covering anything specific because we do cover other systems other than just the Microsoft tools, but we do focus most of the labs on the Microsoft tools. Common applications like calendaring, email, other databases. There's information on networking, which is great. I think networking is a super important part of understanding IT right now. Every field has computers that are networked, and understanding how networks work is super important. We talk about the internet and social media and IoT. We talk about all the future in those areas. We talk about mobile technology and ways to stay safe with their mobile devices, because it's the number one way that our students are accessing the internet is mobile technology. It surpassed internet browsing on regular computers a couple years ago. So a mobile device is the number one way that most people access the internet. Digital citizenship, because we also feel that for certain age groups, it's important to teach them early about how to be a good citizen on the internet, which again, we need more of that, I think. We talk about programming fundamentals so they can, again, experience what programming is in a little safer environment and just kind of dip their toe in it again. And then, of course, career pathways, talking about all the different career options that are out there in IT. The umbrella for IT is really expanding, so it's really important that the students know what's available for them. Whether they're more of an artistic student or more of an analytical student, there's a place for IT for them, and they just need to find that place. So again, this is the course, 15 chapters, covering what we feel is a broad range of different areas, and so that a student really gets an understanding of what's out there and kind of finds their place in it. So I always like to describe Test Out as a toolbox. A toolbox of very specific tools, and each tool can be used differently, right? I've been teaching for 20 years now almost, and I've used Test Out in the classroom for since 2006. And I've talked to many other teachers who've used this product, and I tell you the different ways teachers use each tool, it varies in so many different ways. So I used it in several ways depending on my situation. I have had to deliver classes for students online, pure online, when the pandemic hit. I've also delivered using an in-person class with my students there with me and used Test Out for that scenario. So again, I like to tell teachers that you have to understand the tools, which I'm going to describe, and then find how you want to use these tools in the classroom or online, and just adapt the way you need them. It's like, again, a hammer can be used in so many different ways, and so you find the way you want to use it. So the 5 different tools that are in most Test Out courses are going to be videos, which is this icon here with this little triangle and square. There's going to be fact sheets that will have the 3 little dots with the lines. We're going to have a new addition to our toolbox in this particular class are learning activities. We call them learning reviews, and which is really exciting. Also, our labs and demonstrations, right? So our demonstrations will be the one that has the little computer with the arrow in it, and the labs are going to be the little mouse. And then the learning activities are going to be the one with the pencil. So again, it takes a little practice. So let's go ahead and go through each of the tools real quick. And again, how you use them in the classroom is totally up to you. There's so many strategies you can use. So I'm going to go ahead and click on a video. Now, the videos in this particular class were designed for a certain age group, but I don't think they can that they're only defined by that age group. They can be used across different age group spectrums. So they are, in more animated way of delivery. But again, what's important is that the information we're conveying is easily digestible. In other words, when a student watches these videos, they should be able to understand the material without having to struggle too much. We're trying to stay away from the geek speak that a lot of these videos have when they get real technical. So here we go. I'm going to start the video real quick.
Symbiotic. It's a fancy word that means corporate.
Okay, so you notice right away that, again, a little different from our normal videos. They have music, they have animations. So again, really trying to tailor it to a certain age group, but not strictly to that age group. One of my favorite features about our videos is the interactive script. I think our interactive scripts really add that extra piece so that if a student can read along with the script and watch the video, it just helps them retain the information a little bit better. So I always used to encourage my students, if they're watching the video on their own, right? If the student is going through the material on their own, to open up the script and read along with it. Now, I've also used these videos as a co-teacher. I would put them on a large screen and kind of go through the videos and stop them to emphasize certain points or to help the students answer questions about something that maybe seems a little bit confusing. So again, these videos can be used in different scenarios. Again, if this is pure online, the students are having to watch these videos on their own. But if there's maybe a mix of environments where they're watching them with you in the classroom or even watching them on video, which I've done before also, watching a video with the students online, then I don't have the interactive script open. I usually have that closed when I'm doing it with the students. But what's really amazing about our interactive script is no matter where you click, the video will automatically jump there.
Symbiotic. Oh, I'm so lonely.
So again, it's very easy to find the information a student wants. So if a student is going through the video and they want to review something, just click on the interactive script location. It takes them right to that area. So very cool tool. Another tool that I always like to point out to teachers is our closed captioning tool. The reason why I like it so much is because it's customizable, right? So if a student wants to create their own look to the closed captioning tool, they can kind of choose and pick what color scheme they like. They can enlarge it. They can change the font. This happens to be the dyslexic font, which can be used for a student who maybe struggles with reading. I personally do have dyslexia, and I like to actually have a certain overlay that I use that helps my eyes read the material better. But again, the student, even if they don't have dyslexia, can find maybe a way to be able to read along with the video. I just think that extra piece of reading along with the video is really important. So that is our video player. They can also speed up and slow down the video with our little slider tool here. And they can obviously lower and raise the volume of the video. I have it pretty loud right now. So again, there, have you noticed? Lots of animation in the videos. Hopefully that will draw the student in and get them to really pay attention and understand what's happening there. So that's our video system. The next piece is our fact sheets I want to show. So let me get to a fact sheet. So this is a fact sheet. So fact sheets have been inside TestOut courses for many, many years. And here's an issue with the fact sheets. The information in a fact sheet is extremely important. It's very detailed information about a subject, and we feel that if a student doesn't utilize them properly, they're missing a large part of the content. I did a study a year ago, and I wanted to find out what was the most underutilized tool in the toolbox, the TestOut toolbox, and of course, the fact sheets were the number one underutilized tool. And so I always encourage teachers to tell their students that the fact sheet should be seen as important or more important than the videos and even the labs. Because if they want to get certified, if their quest is certification, no matter what course it is, whether it's an IT course or an office course, the fact sheets really have the minutia of the information. So I really encourage them to be able to go through the fact sheets. There's several strategies that I use. I usually show teachers how they can copy this material. So if you hit the copy button, you can copy this material into the clipboard. And then there's lots of free readers out there that you can actually paste this into and then have this read to the students if that's an option. Again, if a student struggles with reading like I do, this white background with the black text just is very difficult for me to read. And a lot of students also say that. So again, if you paste that in there into a reader and hit play, the student can read along with it. Now, that's something that again, you don't have to show your students if you want them to just read through the material. But I always like to have those options open for my students. So these are the fact sheets. Try to convey their importance as much as you can. Another piece to our toolbox is going to be the new activities. So if I go to our hardware area and I open up an activity, it'll be the one with the little pencil here. If I click one, it opens up this little menu here, or this page, and then they hit the start button. And our activities are just a way for the students to kind of really get the information kind of in their brains, kind of have it to stick there. And it's a kind of a site, activity where they have to see something and make decisions without any other help or any other information. So I like this type of activity because it forces the student to really understand what they're looking at, being able to put things together. So for instance, this was to select this processor socket. So notice how my mouse isn't changing in any way. There's no hints. They have to know exactly what they're looking for and click on it. If they click on it correctly, they get a correct response. Then it moves to the next question. Where do we put the RAM, right? So let's say a student clicks on one of these devices here. Well, it says you'll see this question again later. So these questions are going to loop around in like a round robin situation. So they would see it again later. So let's see where the SATA connectors are. These are SATA connectors here, and they get a good response. So again, this type of activity is just designed to kind of help the student kind of put that in their long-term memory a little better and understand by sight and just more. It's a different way of understanding and coming back with the answers, almost troubleshooting in many ways. So this is one of our learning reviews. I really like these new reviews. All right, so let's close that. Another item that's in the toolbox, obviously, are our demos. So our demos will be the computer and the little arrow in it. And normally with a demo, there's going to be a lab that follows it, helping them learn those skill sets with practice. So if I click on paragraph and formatting, this is going to be a video telling them how to perform that particular skill, right? Okay, so this will demonstrate how to create paragraphs and other skills that we want them to have. And then once they finish it, they can click on a lab that actually has them perform those skills. So we have a scenario on the left, right? And they go through the scenario, completing each task, set the author's name to this, set the title to this. So they have to go in and do these tasks, right? And so again, they've already learned it by watching the demo video. Now they get to execute it using the skills lab. So again, teaching real world skills, getting them to understand how to maneuver through certain things. And again, we have labs throughout the entire course. That's one of my favorite things about the digital literacy course is the amount of labs we've included. So if you go to the outline and click on any section, it's anything with a mouse. So these mice are labs. If you notice, tons of mice throughout this course. And look, well, my favorite is the keyboarding. Nothing but labs in the keyboarding, helping the students get those muscle memory skill sets that are really important when they go out and do either when they go to work someday or in the classroom, right? Everybody should know how to type. Everybody should know how to do basic office skills, Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, and so that will help them throughout their school and in the future. So again, those are the main tools that are inside most of our courses, with the exception of the activity. So that's the tools in this toolbox. The last thing I want to point out is down here on the bottom, the digital literacy practice exams. So this course has a certification that we've created that is our own test out digital literacy certification. I think it's a really great first step for a student who wants to get a certification under their belt. Again, if they decide to go further into IT, if they go into security or computers or hardware, administration, or wherever they choose to go, certifications are always going to be part of their journey. And this is a nice, safe way for them to experience getting a certification. And they can put it someday on their resume, even saying they have this certification. And it's a nice, robust certification that they have to practice for. It's not something they can just get without practicing or knowing the information. And I think it's just something that I love that we've tied this to it so that the student can have something they can be proud of. It builds confidence. So again, I really encourage teachers to offer this. And it's free with the course, so there's nothing extra to pay. And you can deliver it yourself in the classroom. And I think it's just a win-win for a student who's excited about maybe pursuing an IT career. again, this course was designed to build excitement, build a student's curiosity, again, and still dip their toe in so many different aspects of IT. And that's what we want to try to encourage with this course, right? So many courses out there are either fall into two spectrums, right? Either too easy and something that doesn't build excitement, or too hard where the student gets discouraged and they think IT is not for them. It's too hard. So this course is designed to kind of in that middle gap, right, where they can go through the material. It's understandable. It's easy to digest. It's fun, and lots of different activities they can have fun with. And then hopefully they'll say, "I want to move forward. I want to do more with this," and they'll find their path, whether it's programming or administration or some other aspect of IT. So that's the goal. Now, one thing I want to point out for this new course, I want you to notice, if you're familiar with TestOut, you know that normally we have end of section quizzes on every section in every other course that we've made, but this one does not have that. And we did that with intent because we feel like we don't want the student to tie that in to the course, right? We want the teacher to control that delivery, especially for the younger students. Now, for older students, there are some workarounds for it because we do have the practice exams that they can use to go through, but the other parts of the sections don't have any type of exams. So what we've done is we've asked teachers to use our custom exam tool. So we go back to schools, and you as teachers will have access to the custom exam tool. This is the tool that you can use to create a custom exam that you can use for end of week or end of day exams. It's real easy to use, and we have a video for it. I'm just going to go into it real quick and show it. So again, what's really great about this, so let's say I want to make a quick exam. I'll do it real quick. Let's say of end of week 2 test. Right? So end of week 2 test, I'm just making it up. I'm going to allow the students to check their answers once after the scored their exam. I'm going to make a passing score a little harder. I like to make it a little higher passing score. I'm going to make it an 80. Actually, I'll make it an 85. And I'm going to make it timed. I'll give them 60 minutes. And now I'm going to choose some questions. Now, this is where it gets different with our custom exam creator for the digital literacy course, right? So now I need to choose how I want the exam to be delivered, whether it's random, different, everybody gets a different test, or in the same order, everybody gets the same test, or a subset. So lots of different ways to do it. I like random, so I'll choose random. I'm going to choose the course, which is going to be digital literacy, right? Now the entire course is here. Now this is what makes this course different from other custom exam courses, that at the beginning we have the ability to create section exams. So the section exams are here, and for instance, let's say you want to give an exam on section 3, which is hardware. Now you have all these different questions you can choose from to include in the exam. So you can go through them and choose the ones you want. Let's say you want this one here. You go through it. I want this one here. See right here. I'm just picking some randomly, and I can pick other sections right here. If I want to go to section 4, which is operating systems, I can go there. But now, let's say you want some labs to be thrown in the mix. You go on here and we click on these sections. This is where the labs are located. So you can click on this lab, peripherals, you can click on this lab and include it. So again, this is how you can mix it up. So you can put labs from the actual chapters and then questions from the sections. So again, you can build these quickly and add the questions you want. Once you're done, you can go and see the questions you chose. If you want to, you can look at them again. You can maneuver through each question, launch the lab if you want to. You can remove a question if you want. Once you're done, you click X. Now all you have to do is schedule the exam. And of course, I don't have any classes set up for it, so I don't have anything to do. But I could here then give the date. This could be a Friday exam, and I could schedule it from there. So again, a real quick way to make a quick end of week or end of day or end of semester exam. And it puts all the control in the teacher rather than in the student, because as you know, with the section exams, the student could do them over and over and memorize questions. Now we're giving this control to the teachers, and I think this is a much better approach for this particular age group. So again, Custom Exam Creator is my best friend. So that is the digital literacy course in a nutshell. Again, the different ways you use the tools in the classroom can vary. And again, I could go into a whole section on different options of how to deliver each of these. For instance, this is something that I am passionate about, I think, is, for instance, those activities. So I'm going to go back to this activity here. For instance, this is my favorite with the hardware, and the one I just did with the computer motherboard parts. I can foresee a teacher bringing this up on a large screen, right, in front of the classroom. And so again, it's on. You can imagine a touch screen, and the teacher goes, "Who wants to come over and touch where the processor is?" So a volunteer comes up, they go to the board and they click on what they think where the motherboard should go, right? And they get immediate response of correct, right? What I love about this is that option. Of course, you can assign this to students to do by themselves, but I really think that test out, it can be used in so many ways with the videos. The fact sheets can be used in so many ways. You can put them on the big screen, go through them together, or have them read to the students using a player. You can use these activities as a group kind of fun thing to do where you can almost like put them in teams and see who can choose the most amount of right answers. So many ways to use it in the classroom if you really start thinking outside the box. So again, I think this course, the new digital literacy course, is really exciting, especially for that age group that is just coming into learning about IT, regardless, again, if they're young kids in middle school or high school, or even adults coming into IT for maybe ex-military, they're transitioning, or people that are, looking to get in IT and they don't know how to, they're afraid because they don't have any experience. And this course bridges that, so make it more comfortable, a little bit easier to ease into IT. So very exciting course, and I hope you find it as exciting as I do. So that's it. That is digital literacy in a nutshell, and the new Test Out Digital Literacy Pro course that is available. So thank you so much.